Good morning, JLDC champions! Let's start the morning off by welcoming our moderator for our Leadership Wins Championships panel. Our host is a tried and true basketball whiz. During his college years, you could find him out on the court, where he led his team to an NCAA Division II National Championship title. He now speaks and trains future leaders around the globe with TEAMTRI. But don't worry, he still manages to play ball every now and then, and he is the proud owner of a wicked jump shot. Ladies and gentlemen, get loud and hyped up for our host, Mr. Scott Cornelius.
Okay. All right, how are we doing today? All right, awesome. Hey, we have a great day planned for you guys. And here in a minute, I'm going to bring out some good friends of mine. They're going to be on this panel. Do we have any sports fans in the place? Any sports fans here? I am a huge sports fan as well. And here's what I love about sports. One, they are just fun to play. But I also know there are so many leadership lessons that we can pull from athletics and our experiences in sports. And so we've got a great group that's going to be with us today, and they're going to share some stories and some thoughts of their playing days that I think are really going to help us in our leadership journey. Are you guys ready to meet them? All right. Hey, give it up for our panel, guys. Come on out. Here we go. We're giving it up. Very nice. Okay. Thank you so good. Yep. All right. Well, hey, welcome, everybody. Glad you guys are here with us. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and as we get started, we're going to kind of start here with you, Walter, then we're going to go that way. Why don't you take a second to introduce yourself, let them know a little bit, maybe about some of your background, sports you played, and then I think it would be fun to know what would your perfect walk-in song be, right? You're choosing a walk-in song. What would it be, all right? Ready, set, go.
All right, so my name is Walter Mendenhal. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Played football actually at the University of Illinois, then played professionally for the Colts, the Bengals, and the Bills. And
any fans of those teams out there? Any fans? Any fans? We got a few.
All right. And right now, currently, I am an entrepreneur, so I do a lot of mentoring services in the Chicago area. I'm also the owner of the Male Mogul Initiative, which seeks to positively transform the way young men live and lead in their communities through leadership and entrepreneurship. So we help young men in under-resourced communities start businesses and give them financial help to help them to start their businesses.
I love that. That's great. Thanks for being here, Walter. Give it up for Walter one more time. Okay.
My name is Karlee Stortz. I'm a student at UAB. It's the University of Alabama, Birmingham. I'm a junior.
We had one UAB fan in the far back,
yeah,
I think.
Blazers.
Very excited for that. Give it up for UAB.
I'm a junior, and I'm studying biomedical engineering. I also run cross country and track for UAB. I'm from Illinois originally, so this is pretty far away from home, but I love it so far. And
great.
my walk-up song, I don't know, I guess any Nirvana song?
Any Nirvana?
Any
That's
Nirvana
very
song.
nice. It's
Yeah.
a great. I never would have guessed
Nirvana.
a Nirvana
Yeah,
song.
you
We
should-
discussed this backstage. These two weren't even alive when that song came out. So,
Oh, very good.
and everybody else in the room is probably in that same boat. 94, anybody else in here born before 94? I know me and Walt. Yeah.
That's
There we go.
Well, hey, let's go on. Move on.
Now
Here
that
we
I'm
go.
already talking before my turn. My name is Andrew McCain. I'm the one up there with the long hair. I'm from right here in Birmingham. Went to high school at Briarwood Christian. Played football at Auburn University 2005 through 2009.
Auburn
War Eagle.
fans.
Anybody see that game a couple weeks ago?
We got some Auburn. Fans. The second row over here. Just watch out over there. I saw her. I'm letting you know. Just be careful.
Oh goodness! All right, no tomatoes out there, please. And now I'm a project manager for an engineering company here in Birmingham. We do large-scale industrial work, boilers, steam systems, that kind of thing. I'm sure there's some people in here that might be interested in a field like that one day. But thank you guys so much for having us. A walk-up song. I mean, honestly, my guy just crushed it right there. I listened to a lot of Nirvana in the locker room before I took the field, so I'm with it. Smells like Teen Spirit. We got a lot of that in here.
Yeah, it was impressive. Very nice.
Yes, indeed.
Hi, everybody. My name is Britney Johnson. I'm originally from New Hampshire, which is pretty far, and I'm a sophomore at UAB. Anybody? Anybody.
UAB. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. I run cross country and track and field for UAB as well, and I'm currently studying kinesiology. And, okay, cool. And I guess, like, I don't know, a really good walk-up song is just like Enter Sandman. Anybody like that song? It's real good.
There we go.
Real good.
We chose the right panel, I think. I think that's it. Well, hey, welcome, guys. So glad that you're here. And so what we want to do today is we want to, there are a lot of things that we can learn being part of a team, right? That not only translate to sports, but also translate into our leadership journey as well. And so one of the things that I'd like to kind of hear from all of us just to start is the idea of preparation is, in anything that we do, preparation really does matter. Any leadership journey you're on, you have to prepare, and especially that's true in sports as well. And so I'd love to kind of hear a little bit from each of you is what are some of the things that you did to help you prepare for a big game, a big meet? What are the things that you did to mentally get ready?
So I think a lot of times, a lot of people think this starts, the day of the game or the day before the game. But for me, it actually started the week before the game. Yeah. So I remember just making sure I studied my assignments, what the weaknesses was from the other opposing teams, what I could do better from the last game so I can bring that into the following game, and also too just making sure my body, my mind, and all those things were mentally prepared in order to be successful during the game day.
I love that. All right, so let's just clarify. Walter, you made a point to say preparation doesn't start the night before, right?
It does not.
Raise your hand if you struggle with procrastination, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there are a lot of us in this room. We all struggle with that. But Walter, you're just letting us know, right? If we want to prepare and we want to get the most out of what we're trying to put into, it starts before the night before, right? Anybody else, any thoughts on preparation or?
I mean, I think he just hit the nail on the head, and not, sometimes not even the week before. I mean, if you start to take it, if you want to use a sports analogy, if you're starting to prepare when there's already butts in the seats in the stands, then it's way too late. All the real work, all the hard work is done when nobody's looking, when nobody's watching, when it's just you and your teammates, when it's just you at home in front of your book, when it's just you and your study group getting together. That's when all the real work is done, so that when it's time to show up, when it's time to actually go out there and see what you got, you can be confident going into that. Not only do you have the knowledge, but you have the confidence that you're ready to go because you put in the work harder and longer than anybody else before you actually got to game time.
No, that's great. I think it's great. Karlee, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, for us, for cross country and track, you have to train months in advance to be prepared for your race. So I remember at the beginning of the summer, there was a team that had quoted, I'm not going to name the team, but they had quoted I think beginning of August that this training starts now. And our team kind of laughed at that because we're like, no, the training started back in May when we had finished our track season, and now we were getting ready for cross country. And so if we had decided we were going to start training at the beginning of August when we all got back to school, we were definitely not going to be ready for season. So preparation is definitely not a night before thing, not even a week. It's kind of a lifestyle.
That's great. Brittany, anything to add there?
Yeah, I kind of just agree with Karlee. Like for us, we start training for cross country in June, and by this point we have over 1,000 miles on our legs. And if you don't put that work in before, you're not going to be anywhere near where you want to be. And it's just really important to always just remember what you are trying to get at, what you're trying to succeed for yourself. So if you don't prepare before, then you're not going to be as happy with the end result. And that's just important in athletics and in life because you always have to work for what you want to get to.
1,000 miles since June?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. I think it's fair to say I've not put 1,000 miles on these legs in my whole life. I think that might be.
That's what we have cars for, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's why we have cars. Hey, I want to do a follow-up question. Andrew, I want you to think about this. In this idea of preparation, so much of the preparation maybe does happen on an individual basis. But when you were preparing, did you include other people to help you prepare part of that process? What did it look like to include other people around you?
Well, I mean, I played offensive line, so if I'm preparing alone, I might as well not be there. Right. I mean, that was the entire thing with my position when it comes to football. It was 5 that had to work as one. And Walt can attest to this. If they're not on the same page, his day gets real bad trying to run the football.
Horrible. Horrible.
So, I think especially in a team sport, in a business environment, in a scholastic environment, you're going to need to surround yourself with like-minded people that have the same goal, get on the same page, and how can we help one another get there together? What are my weaknesses, my strengths? What are your weaknesses, your strengths? How can we fill those voids for one another and raise one another's level on a daily basis?
No, that's great. Go ahead, Walter. You're gonna...
No.
Hey, quick question. I was thinking, as we were speaking, Andrew, it made me think of this. So you were an offensive lineman.
Yep.
Right? And my friend Walter to the left of me was a running back. Now, if you think of those two positions, who usually gets all the glory?
The running back.
Right? Now, I appreciate Walter, though. Walter acknowledges and knows he is not successful if Andrew's not doing his job, right?
Most definitely. I think running back is the most dependent position on the field because it's the linemen, it's the receivers, it's the quarterback giving you the ball. So it is very much so the most dependent position on other people being on the same page in order to be successful.
No, it's great. Now, I know you, Walter, so I know the kind of guy that you are. But kind of share with the rest of us, what is maybe some things that you tangibly did to let your linemen, let those other people know that, one, you appreciated them, right? And understood that your success was dependent on their success. Are there some things that you tangibly did on a regular basis to kind of build that culture in the locker room?
Oh, most definitely. Anytime I got interviewed that I had a good game, I made sure to give recognition to the big guys up front. I think also, too, just showing them and just being appreciative from them, not only when you were playing on game day where you're getting interviewed, but, the 7 days a week that you're with them, just letting them know that, you appreciate them, making sure they like you, because if they like you, then they'll block harder for you. So just made sure that I was always a good teammate and always recognize them for their contributions to my success.
No, that's great. I think that's great. Okay, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. One thing that I always appreciate about sports and athletes is how quickly they have to make decisions. When you're playing a sport, you have to make decisions very quickly. But that translates to everyone in this room as well. We have a lot of decisions that we have to make every single day. A lot of you, even right now, you're trying to decide things like, what university am I going to go to? What do I want to study? All those types of things. Those are big decisions everyone has to make. And so I'd like to maybe kind of pose this question to you guys, and maybe Britney, we'll start with you. But what was your decision-making process when you were trying to choose to go to UAB?
Well, obviously, like I said before, I'm from New Hampshire, and all I knew was that I wanted to leave, and I wanted to try to go somewhere else to just experience a new part of the country and just try to meet a lot of new people. And I went on a visit to a couple schools, but I came for my official at UAB, and I immediately felt like I was at home, even though I was thousands of miles away from my actual home. When you go and you visit a college, whether it be in-state in Alabama or you're trying to go somewhere new, try to find the school that makes you feel like you're the most at home. And that's what really struck for me, because I was so far away, I didn't know anybody, but for some reason there was this pull of attraction to UAB that I was home. And I'm a sophomore now, and I still feel like I'm at home, and I still love the university, I love the area. So just remember to look inside of yourself to find what you love about your home, and try to find it in a university that you might want to go to.
No, I love that. So so part of your decision-making process is you ask yourself some questions. And for you, the question you asked is, where am I going to feel most like home? I think that's a great grid to help all of us in decision-making, is to develop some questions that are important to you to walk through like a checklist, right? I think that's great. Karlee, go ahead and share. What was kind of your decision-making process?
So like Brittany, I'm far from home too. I'm from Illinois. But I also come from a very big family. I have 5 siblings, and I love them all very much. But I've always grown up as the little Stortz in high school and junior high. So I really wanted to be an individual and go to a school pretty far from home and kind of find myself and be who I want to be actually Karlee Stortz, not just little Stortz, baby Stortz. So when I came to UAB, I met the girls and I met the coaches, and I absolutely loved it. I felt like they were my family. Excuse me. And they were going to take care of me. because my mom was very worried about that.
Sure.
So that was really nice, just having that comfort that I knew that I was going to be okay, even being so far from home. And then I love the university. That's also a big deal. My parents always said, make sure you love the school, not just the sport. Because I could go to UAB and then have a catastrophic injury which ends my career. And now I'm at UAB, but I hate the school and I can't do what I love anymore. So I knew it was my home when I loved the school, I loved the area, and I loved the team.
No, that's great. No, I love hearing that. So I got a question for Andrew and Walter. Just thinking through some things that both Britney and Karlee, you looked for. Like you used words like family, right? You used words like home. Those are things that I think we all want to look for in a university, but that extends even after we graduate, right? And both of you are now professionals in the business world. Would you say that some of those things that you looked for in university, those are still some of the things that you want in your current job now? Go ahead, Andrew.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that whether it's a school, scholastic opportunity, whether it's a business opportunity, you have to take a step back and look at, what's most important about this to me. Is this job, this school, is that the end, or is this just a means to another end that I'm trying to achieve? And so, for me, one of the most important things to me in my career is can I be surrounded by people that make me better, not only at what I do on a daily basis, in the workplace, but also who I am as a husband, as a father one day. Can I provide the kind of life for my beautiful wife that I want to? And so, all of those things play into the decisions I make career-wise, because I was able to find my why first. And once I figured out what my why was, it was a whole lot easier to identify the how, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Most definitely, and just to kind of piggyback, I think one for me, when I was choosing a school, I wanted to be somewhere close to home, where my family could watch me play. And I also, too, had a brother that actually was a first-round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we wanted to play together at a university. And we were always, I guess you can say, the underdogs, what the high school we went to, or the college that we went to. So we didn't want something that was just, the top school. We wanted to go somewhere where we can build and be the foundation of something special.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I want to get to this underdog mentality here in a second. I love the thought of kind of being an underdog. Before I do that, though, every one of you there's a common thread of this idea of home and relationships and a sense of belonging, really, right? And that doesn't end. And honestly, it starts early. And one thing that I would say is a fair to say about everyone in this room is that we all do want some sense of belonging. We want that, right? And that's an important thing in what it's in your local organization, in the college you go to, whatever group you're in. We want this sense of belonging. Can you maybe think of a few things what are some tangible things that you think you can do to help create that sense of belonging for your teammates or people that you work with?
So for myself, starting an organization, I think the culture, the work culture, the core values that you have, you kind of want to infuse that into starting something. So some of my core values were family, leadership, entrepreneurship. So these are the things that I kind of infused into, and what I was looking for when I was creating my team of people that I would work with, or even to the communities that we went into. We wanted the communities that had a lot of talent, but maybe not in the best position or the best, I guess you can say good neighborhoods, but we knew that there was value in these under-resourced communities, and we tried to kind of like get that underdog, take those underdogs and make these young people and these people successful.
No, that's great. Karlee, you want to go?
I think for me and my team, we try to build our relationships outside of the sport itself and get to know each other more than just a runner or more than just an athlete.
That's great.
So we like to get together and have little game nights on a Friday night if we don't have a race the next day, and we'll all kind of hang out and talk, watch movies, do whatever we want to do, and just build those relationships and realize we're not just teammates, we're actual friends, we're actual family, and they're my sisters.
No, I think one of the biggest leadership lessons that I have learned is really what you were just talking about, Karlee, is if you want people to follow you, they have to know that you care, right? They have to, and so we have to be interested in the people that are on our team. It really does communicate a strong sense of belonging and value. I think that's huge. Andrew, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think just one scenario that really jumps out to me is if you're someone who has been there, or that's in the in crowd, or you have some experience, or you're an upperclassman or whatever, when someone new comes along, be the one that steps up and makes that person feel comfortable. I had a senior all-SEC linebacker do that for me. I enrolled at Auburn 5 days after I graduated from high school. It was a pretty quick turnaround. I was deer in the headlights, And this young man came up to me, hey, I know you're already dealing with a lot of transition. Just want you to know that we're not going to make your life tougher. We're going to try to make it easier. I
love that.
And that spoke so big to me, that there was somebody that was older than me that had no reason to come up to me in this locker room of 100 kids, but he saw that I was new and wanted to make me feel comfortable. And now he's one of the best, linebacker coaches in the SEC, Travis Williams, and there's no surprise because he's a true leader.
How many years ago was that?
That was, I guess almost 15 years ago.
I just want to I do want to just get that though.
Right.
There was 15 years ago, you had one moment with one guy.
Sticks with you.
Right? That's unbelievable.
Yep.
I love that. And I love your challenge for everyone in this room is be that. Be that guy.
Absolutely.
Be the one that walks into a room, looks for the person who's new, looks for the person who's uncomfortable, looks for the person who maybe feels like they don't belong.
Right.
And we're going to commit to making them belong. I love that.
Yep.
That's great. I really, really like that. Brittany, any thoughts on how to kind of build that with your team?
I just really agree with what Andrew is saying, just be that person who can make a difference for somebody else. It's not hard to be kind, so it's just be as kind as you can to everybody you can and make the most kind of impact you can, whether that's athletics or in school. If you see someone struggling, sitting alone, just open yourself up to them and you can be a way better person for it. So I just really agree with what Andrew was saying.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Walter.
It's just basically modeling the behavior that you would like to see.
Right.
I think as leaders, we have to model behavior, because if we, do things and then tell somebody else, to do something else, it really doesn't coincide, or it's kind of hypocritical.
Right.
So I definitely believe in modeling behavior.
Yep.
And, when you model behavior, other people will kind of pick up on those behaviors.
No, I love that. We'd all would say it is important for our actions and our words to match, right? And when our actions and our words match, it shows that we are living an authentic life, and people are drawn to authenticity, right? Would you say, is it fair to say, and just by show of hand, does it annoy you if someone is fake, right? Yeah. In fact, if I were to say, I want you to write down the top 3 traits that you look for in a best friend, one of the 3, my guess is, would be some sort of authentic, real, honest, loyal. Those are things that we look for, and I appreciate you, Walter. We need to be that, right? If we're going to want that from other people, we need to set the example as the leaders in the room. Okay, I love that you brought up, Walter, this idea of the underdog. How many of you always root for the underdog? Do you tend to do that? There's just something about rooting for the underdog. I'll never forget when I was 7 or 8 years old, my mom took me to get a dog, right? And there were 7 or 8 cute little puppies running around, and there was one that was the runt. And I just remember thinking I want that one. That's the one. I always like the thing that nobody else kind of wants. But what I think it does for a competitor is it develops this mindset that it's me against the world, right? I'm going to go get this. And so, Andrew, just maybe talk a little bit about kind of that underdog mindset and how you think that helps you compete at a high level.
I think that the second that you feel like you've got it made, or that you're better than anyone else, then you start regressing. In life, no matter whether it's friendships, family relationships, dating relationships, sports, academics, business, you're never really staying in one place. You're always either moving forward or moving backward. The second that you think you've got it made, you're already sliding back. So if you can always have a goal out in front of you, whether it's this team that's better than you that no one gives you a chance to beat, whether it's this position that no one thinks you can beat out the starter and earn a starting spot, whether it's this promotion that somebody thinks you can never get, if you always have that next goal and then one after that and then one after that, then you'll continue to move forward and raise your level. And so that's why it's so important to find that in whatever phase of life that you're in where you feel like you need to improve, set that goal, make yourself that underdog, and then prepare in a way that when the time comes, you're not an underdog at all.
All right. Brittany, go ahead.
One thing that I learned from like another kind of seminar that I had attended was that instead of trying to prove your haters wrong, prove your supporters right. So with the underdog mentality, like, don't listen to the people who are sitting there like hating on you with whatever you're trying to do in life. Look to the people who support you, the ones that love you, care about you. Look at them. Those could be your teammates, your peers. Look to them and try to prove them right. Show everybody that supports you how you're gonna succeed for them. Do it for you, do it for them. Just don't think about the haters because they're only gonna throw you back anyway. So if you're the underdog, think about the people you need in your life and think about those people when you're trying to succeed for what you want.
I love that. All right, hey, Brittany, we're going to stay here with you a minute. I got a question. This morning I met with our panelists. We were walking through some things, and when I first met Brittany and Karlee, I walked up in the registration area, and we're kind of getting ready for this. Literally, they both had their books open and they were studying, and then I found out that it is finals week. So they're studying for final, they had so much going on, and they still wanted to be here with you guys. So I think that deserves like a special round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Very special round of applause. So, but honestly, like, just even in that moment, I know there are so many demands on your schedule with school and athletics and everything that's going on. And we'll go to Brittany and then Karlee, I'd love for you to answer next, is what are some things that you do right now to help you manage all of the demands of your schedule? Because here's what I know, everyone in this room is busy. Man, they have school, they're involved in organizations, maybe they're involved in a sport, they might have a job. Everyone in here is busy, and so I think this is something we all could learn from.
So obviously, like Scott was saying, we do have a lot of responsibilities put on us, and we signed up for this. We wanted to come to school, we wanted to play, we wanted to run. And I just think one of the most important things about time management is to also allow yourself to have some leeway time. So like I'll sit down at night and me and my boyfriend will watch Criminal Minds and just watch it for a little bit.
Great show.
Yes.
Great show.
And then, we know what we have set out to do. We know we have homework, practice, weights, training room responsibilities. We know we have to get up and we have special things to volunteer for. We're coming here. There's just a lot thrown into our schedules, and you just have to be ready to mentally prepare for it. So we knew about this like a week ago, but we're still here. We're ready. We were excited to come and talk to all of you. And not only do we focus on making sure we get things done, but we also do allow ourselves to have a little bit of time to breathe, because then you're just going to be way too stressed and you're not going to be able to do the things you need to do in the actual like performance level you need them done. So you have to prioritize certain times of your day for certain things. Like I know my practice schedule is like from 6 to 11. That's a 5-hour block that I know that I'm doing everything for athletics. And then I get to refocus after that and think about academics and my classes. So just really prioritizing your time and not letting everything come onto you at once. Like make sure you remember you have this block for this block for that. And that's just one of the things that I personally do to allow myself to manage my time better.
No, I think that's great. So one thing I would just take from that is you block your days. Your day is scheduled. And what I have found in just preparation is when our day is scheduled and we can literally see it on our phone, in the calendar, or on a piece of paper, whatever it is, it does give us a sense of calmness that we know what's coming. I find that to be important. I also love that you do commit to watching some TV, right? Because honestly, we can get so caught up in doing so many things, we do need to make time for ourselves as well. And I love that you model that. Karlee, why don't you go ahead, Karlee?
So I agree with a lot of what Brittany said, but I also want to say take being busy as a gift, because it prepares you for the future, I think.
Right.
It kind of makes you be organized, and it makes you grow up a little bit faster than you'd want to sometimes, but in the end, it's good for you. So like Brittany said, you got to be organized. That's how I am. I'm a very organized person. I have my little planner that tells me I need to do homework this day because this day I have this going on. So you got to plan ahead. I know I'm a procrastinator sometimes, but you got to, sometimes put other things aside and be like, I have to get this done because I have a meet this weekend and I'm going to be gone all weekend, so I'm not going to have time to do this project that we need to turn in on Tuesday. You just need to sometimes put things aside, but like Brittany said, you always need to make sure you have time for yourself. Otherwise, you will make yourself go crazy, and it's not going to be healthy. So every once in a while, like, she watches Netflix. I'm a nerd and I read, but I'll sometimes throw on Netflix and watch with her and stuff like that. So always find time to just do something that you like in the mix of all your craziness.
Yeah, it's important. Go ahead, Walter.
I just think the key to success is discipline and routine. And the more disciplined and routine that you are, the more productive you will be. And with productivity, having your schedules, knowing what you're going to do, planning ahead, anticipating, obstacles. I think when you can do that, you can be very productive.
No, I think it's huge. Routines matter. We want to develop routine. I think that's huge. Okay, we got a few minutes left here, and so that's what I'd like to do now. Walter, we'll start with you, and we'll go down the panel there. But we've got a couple minutes left. Maybe take 30 seconds or so, and looking at this particular audience today, what is something that you would just like to leave with this group? If there's just one thought that you could leave with us today, what would it be? We'll start with Walter, about 30 seconds, and we'll go down.
I will say just take advantage of your opportunities. I remember being in high school. I never knew something like this existed. Leadership training and development and, business and entrepreneurship, whatever you guys are part of, make sure you take advantage of the opportunities because a lot of people don't get a lot of opportunities. So make sure when you have one, you do the best with that opportunity.
That's great. Thank you. Karlee?
I would say appreciate what you're doing. A lot of times people are worried about missing out, or like you're an athlete, so you have different expectations, but you also get to experience a lot of different things that other people don't get to experience. So I'd say appreciate that and really take that in when you're in the moment.
Love it.
It kind of goes back to what Walter just said, but I put a lot of emphasis on the word intention and being intentional. And I know especially at you guys' age, a lot of what you do or deal with on a daily basis can seem kind of, mundane or monotonous, or, we got to go to this class again, or, I got to go, deal with this, or I got this situation at home, or, but you're here today, which is a testament to, to who you guys are in the first place. But, on a daily basis, whether it's class, whether it's a family relationship, whether it's athletics, whatever it is, approach every single facet of it intentionally, knowing exactly why you're there, what you want to get out of it, and how you can very best do that. And I think that having that state of mind will really help your days feel a whole lot more productive, a whole lot more beneficial, and you'll get a whole lot of satisfaction out of that. And I think you'll see yourself, become a better person day in and day out if you do that.
That's great. Thank you. Brittany?
The one thing that I would like you guys to take away too is that just be kind to others. You never know what anybody's story is. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's happening in their life. And I'm sure you guys have heard this same kind of spiel before, but it really is important. And athletics teaches you so many lessons like that. You have to be kind to your teammates. You have to be kind to your coaches and your peers in the classroom if you're a student athlete. You just never know what's happening in someone's life. So just always remember, just spread kindness. Don't spread hate. Just spread kindness. That's what I want to take away.
Appreciate that. Hey, one more time, let's give it up for our panel. Very nice. Genuinely appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to share with us today. And our goal for something like this is that maybe there's one or two things that they share that you take away and that you apply it to your life this point moving forward. So, hey, thank you guys so much. I know there's a great kind of rest of the day planned, but thank you.